minutes before 7 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us. It's safe to say Happy Democracy Day, right? Happy Democracy Day to you. We've come a long way. 23 years, not be being so. The kids supposed to graduate from school by now, right? All right. My name is Precious Inya. You know that this is where Lagos finest conversations and the evening happens. So we're here to have another awesome conversation, and I bet you today would be quite explosive. So you know what? Tighten your seatbelt, because today, if you're not careful, the storm will be too much for you. That is the air turbulence. Should we know what call them? All right. Welcome. My name is Precious Inya, and I'm your host for the show today. And I've got Ma.
Good evening, Lagos. My name is Promise. Welcome to Evening Rush.
All right. So she's a producer of the show,
yes,
and of course my co-host.
You're my product.
We're not saying this. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, we also have Mr. Darlington in the house. Mr. Darlington, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Precious. Good evening, Lagos.
This one that you're talking so calm like this. When you reach time now, your voice tone go change. I usually just calm at the beginning.
You want me to shout?
In the beginning, you're always like this, all right? Okay, so yes, I have with me in the house Dr. Deji Omoshola. Dr. Deji Omoshola. Dr. Deji is a political scientist, and he's one of the finest analysts we also have in town. Dr. Deji, thank you so much for obliging me this evening, and welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. All right, Lagos. So let's get started. You know how we always do. We get to dig at our conversations that have been making the round within the past 72 hours. I wanted us to look at, but let's just leave that matter because it's a long thing. But let's get started, by the way, with some stuff that has been trending. So, as it's got to do with the claim, the Muslim ticket saga, top Christian cleric resigns from Kaduna Commission over El-Rufai's revelation that Muslims will rule Nigeria for decades. Of course, if you're used to that conversation, we did discuss that last week, and I'm sure if you would have probably heard, how that went. There's still more to come in that conversation. We'll look at it further. Talking about Democracy Day, the president, in his inaugural speech, the speech that he made today, made a statement about those who can't accept defeat. And he said, those who can't accept defeat in elections don't deserve victory in future. Meaning, say, if you know fit take and say person don't, we're moving forward elections. All right, we're moving forward elections. All right, I already did say this about those who can't take defeat. June 12 day, article says Nigerians not celebrating democracy. One's about civilian dictatorship. We don't want this back and forth, do we? And it's the man whose reason we are actually marking today as Democracy Day. So the son of late MK Abiola, Jamil Abiola, said, I'm happy that one of the most loyal people that fought for June 12 has become president. In the history of Nigeria, we now have a president that fought for democracy. So he is in a better position to do the right thing. And then he further also said in that conversation that Nigerians are happy about it and there is nobody contesting anything. So, yeah, right. Okay. We'll look for that, and I will play you a voice bite of that conversation moving forward so you get to understand fully. So, a little bit of drama happened. I want to believe that this has got to do with the Senate valedictory session on Saturday. As Senator Bukachua, husband of appeal court judge, was caught on camera trying to explain how he made his wife or influenced his wife to make judgment in favor of House members. Okay. So this has actually been making a lot of round because people are wondering, okay, so are we really looking forward to indeed an unbiased judiciary if we can have the statement? So distinguished, I don't think it's a good idea going that direction. Drama as appeal court justice Zainab Bukachuwa's husband, Senator Bukachuwa, confesses to influencing judicial decisions in favor of colleagues at Nigerian Senate.
That was more like off your mic.
Honorable. Another aspect of honorable off your mic. All right. By the way, tomorrow is the D-Day in the Senate. We can't wait to see what will happen tomorrow. All right, so moving forward, let's quickly see the Tinubu Science Student Loan Bill into law. This a lot of people are happy about. We'll also look at that student loan bill, and what it's got to say. We'll dig further into all of these conversations, but let's take a little break. I'll be right back to dissect each of these conversations one at a time. Stay with us, Lagos. This is the Evening Rush, 90.3, Voice of the People FM. We'll be right back.
Evening Rush with Precious. Featuring sound and informed guests across various sectors to discuss matters rising on Hot Topic Pod.
What was the rate of inflation, and Demi, what was the exchange rate?
Intense conversations,
Doesn't mean he's about to join any party or not. Then who will join the one that will bring our
critical analysis.
What is wrong with us 200 million people? We can't even give ourselves.
We sometimes disagree
When we say our GDP, it's not an oil-dominated.
to agree.
Like what's going on here? You caught that case, right? I saw that.
On Hot Topic Pali, Monday to Friday, 6:15 p.m. to 9 p.m. 90.3. Voice of the People FM. Lagos. Now you have a voice.
All right, Lagos, you are welcome back. Now you do have a voice. 90.3, Voice of the People FM. This is a station that absolutely gives you a voice. So let's get started with the conversations that we have one at a time. Shall we? Right. Okay. So very quickly. Right. So Christian cleric Apostle Emmanuel Nuhukure has resigned from the Kaduna Peace Commission following new viral comments by immediate past governor of the state, Nasir El-Rufai, that Muslims will dominate Nigeria's politics for decades to come. Now, dated June 8, Mr. Kure's resignation letter obtained by the news outlets was titled Letter of Resignation as Co-Chair and Member House of Kaduna Family, Kaduna State Peace Commission. All right. So I don't want to go about talking about what El-Rufai said in that viral video. I'm sure a lot of us would have heard that before in the past. So it's nothing new to us, right? So let's quickly go to what the Islamic cleric even said about this that is also making the round or making the news right now. Let's see. All right, so still about the Muslim ticket thing and what El-Rufai said. So the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria yesterday, Sunday, rose in defense of immediate past governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, over his 6-minute viral video in which he justified his presence for Muslim, or his preference rather, for Muslims in appointing or appointments during his administration. Now, the viral video had captured El-Rufai as telling some Islamic clerics on the eve of his final day in office in Hausa language that, why did I pick Mr. Hadiza Sabuwa Balarabe to be my deputy in 2019? First, I did a thorough calculation that most of those that are not Muslim don't vote for us. You would have listened to that. That went on and on and on and on and on and on. But the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Kaduna State, reacting to that, Reverend John Hayab, during an interview with the Rice Television, flayed El-Rufai over the comment. However, Sharia Council, in a statement yesterday by its secretary, Abdurrahman Hassan, defended El-Rufai while describing Khan's stance as hypocritical. That is, the stance of Christian Association of Nigeria, that their stand is hypocritical. Now, the council said, quoting them now, for the past 1 week, the Christian Association of Nigeria Kaduna State chapter has been wagging tongues, accusing the former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, of making some inciting statements as far as Khan is concerned, simply because he aired his view on the political realities of Muslim tickets. Now, during the campaigns for the just concluded elections in the country, where was Khan when majority of pastors were making unguarded utterances, which, if not for the help of Allah, Nigeria would have been history? And the father said, where was Khan when a pastor stood on the pulpit with an AK-47 in Abuja, referring to what happened at the House on the Rock Church, Abuja, before the election? Where was Khan when some Christian clergies were making prophecies of doom for this country? But Alhamdulillah, all the hula baloo and all the fake and false prophecies, nothing negative happened to our dear country, Nigeria. The Muslim Ummah have been tolerant enough. If not, there is no way a Muslim-dominated state like Taraba will be governed by a Christian. If Plateau State, with a population of 35% Muslims, were denied the deputy governor slot, why should Kaduna State, with Muslim population of close to 75%, not have Muslim tickets? Good men of God always preach peace, not violence and inciting tendencies, which in turn will be a threat to peace and development. We can to toe the line of honor in neutrality rather than playing double standards. Mr. Darlington, I see you and owing. All right, so let's have your take, Mr. Darlington.
You see, good evening once again. One of the reasons why this type of things have been going on is because the Christian community, they have sold their rights. If they have been challenging some of these things over the years, they wouldn't have gotten this far. Go and look at our constitution. Nigeria is supposed to be a secular state. I remember we treated this Sharia legal system, their customs and everything, in my school days at Unilag. And the question I asked the lecturer, if we are truly a secular state, why is this particular region or this particular ethnic group, why is their laws, their tradition and custom, their religion, why is it in our constitution? He said I should go and ask them. So you can see, we have allowed.
You mean as a student of law then?
Sorry?
You mean as a student of law in uni?
Yes. When I was
just
like,
to
yes,
be clear about that.
I'm making reference to it. So we sold our rights. Some of the things we have allowed and tolerated, I am very sure they will not. They will not allow it. Remember when we wanted to have Miss Nigeria in Abuja? They said it will never happen. And Abuja is supposed to be a federal capital. Remember that today, you cannot rear a pig in the north. But a northerner can come here and rear a pig. There are certain areas in the north where you cannot live or stay. They have a separate place for the sub. It's not Sabongeri or something like that. So a lot of segregation in the north. You can't even do your business there. You can't sell your beer, beverages. But they collect money from the sales of VAT and all that. So if you check it, it is so numerous. We have allowed so many things because of religion. And the question I ask myself, these other Arab nations that are religious that are moving forward, are they always happening on these things? Remember the case of Deborah Samuel. You just mentioned the name of Quran or Muhammad and there's problem. How many times have a Christian killed any Muslim for calling Jesus or criticizing Christian religion? How many times? They are not talking about that, Abi. They won't mention that. So we have been very tolerant too. I don't know what the Islamic cleric are saying. We have been I told you here before that the peace of this country today is held by Christians. Leah Sharibu, a very good case for anybody to go to war, but we endured it. A young girl with a bright future. Some people are holding her as we speak today, forcing her, raping her on daily basis because of what? Her belief. The Muslim cleric, they are not talking about that. Mention any Christian group or any Christian community that have held any Muslim girl against her wish in this country. Mention. So you can see, in fact, I blame ourselves. We have allowed so many things to go. In fact, we have allowed so many things to be swept under the carpet. And that is why we are suffering this insult and embarrassment every time. Seriously. They have reruling this country for how many years now? From military to civilian. How many times has the Christian ruled? How many times? So some of the things they are trying to accuse this Khan is what they are guilty of. They are the ones who are not tolerant. What we have taken, they cannot take one quarter of it. And I stand to be corrected by anybody. I have listed so many of them. They cannot tolerate it. They can't. So why can't they appreciate that, yes, that we are together today is because Christians are very enduring and tolerant. That is all. No other reason. If we are beginning to do fire for fire, there will be no Nigeria today now. There won't. There won't. So the man who is talking, I don't know where he's speaking from, and he can say that just because he knows that whatever he says, nothing will happen. You heard what Gumi said here about terrorists who have been destroying lives. He even claimed that nobody should talk to them, that they are fighters. Let any Christian say that here, you see what will happen.
All right, so Dr. Deji, very quickly, I'm sure you would have heard, I don't know if you understand Hausa language, but did you get the translation of that video by former Governor Nasir El-Rufai? If you did, what do you think of that video politically?
It's very unfortunate coming from someone that has held the position of a governor of a state with his level of education, his antecedent is in public service, a former minister, to still have such a myopic, such a sectional orientation. It's so sad, and it shows the kind of people that we are unfortunate to have in government, rather than for them to kind of like build a society whereby equity would evolve. They are trying to kind of like entrench, a kind of like religious interest. And that's why I've once asserted that the reason why it will be difficult to eradicate extremism, specifically Boko Haram in Nigeria, is because some of these leaders believe in the principles, the ideologies of Boko Haram itself, but they are left in between. They cannot uphold the belief publicly because they will be the first losers. If you believe in the doctrine of Boko Haram, the kind of government that Boko Haram is willing to entrench in the country is not like a democracy. It is an Islamic government. And these guys are benefiting from democracy right now. They are benefiting from the system. So their hands are tied, even though they believe in some of these extremist views, they subscribe to it. That's where their allegiance are. But they cannot boldly come out and say, okay, have your way, because they will be the first losers. If Boko Haram entrench a government today, I'm sure El-Rufai won't be a minister or anything in that kind of government. So they are speaking from two sides of the coin. And for somebody that is a former occupying a national position to speak in such a very sectional manner, and that's one of the problems that we have in terms of impunity. We saw the video of no apologies to him, the fake professor Patami, Isa Ali Patami.
Are you kidding me?
No, I call him fake professor with all sense of responsibility. I'm an academic. I know what it takes to be a professor. He is no means a professor. That can only happen in Nigeria, whereby you have your PhD, you are not lecturing in an institution, then you go and use the president name to acquire professorship. That is absolute nonsense. So the fake professor, and he can challenge me on that, and I believe other academics also came out.
But by the way, you need to have some sort of resemblance anyway. Facial resemblance. This is on the side anyway.
We saw the video whereby he was making extremist ideology, and he was so passionate about it.
But they argued that was his past. That was his past.
See, good. Extremism is an ideology.
So you mean I cannot change?
I'm coming. Extremism is an ideology, and ideology do not fade away easily. Now, if ideology exists and you kind of like execute all the people, if one person, just one, is left, that person will regrow that ideology no matter how long it takes. So for you to eradicate an ideology, you need to perhaps eradicate the whole people. But if there's one escapee, just one, that ideology over time would evolve. So extremism is an ideology, and ideology is something that is inbuilt, something that is ingrown. Ideology is like an oxygen in nostril. So if your own ideology unfortunately falls into extremism, this is something that, don't forget, it has social connection, it has spiritual connection, it has economic connection, it has leadership connection. So extremism as an ideology doesn't fade away, because it is something that is inbuilt, that is ingrown, and you are seeking to gain something, which is to entrench something that is allegedly for the spiritual world in the natural social phenomenon.
So in other words, you think that former Governor El-Rufai statements was a bit extremist?
So it is absolutely extreme, and the pastor, the Islamic
that resigned, the Christian cleric that resigned, Islamic, the Sharia cleric that was supporting it.
The man that was wielding AK-47 on the pulpit is now with the security agencies. Talking about prophecy, I was scanning my brain to try and look for an example. Fortunately, I got one. A pastor, I think Feyi or something, made a prophecy that May 29 will not hold during the handover, military will come, blah, 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 Now the man is in prison or in custody, standing trial for alleged rape or something, So the clerics on the Christian side that have made statements that seem, what I can call unholy, because I won't tag El-Rufai statement as holy. People that have made such statements are either standing trial or facing the consequence. So what that leaves us is, if we can have somebody like El-Rufai, who is the chief security officer of a state, to have that kind of mindset. It is not only that kind of mindset. The impunity that have followed the statement leaves much to be desired about the kind of country that we are building. Because if you can make that kind of statement and today you are walking free, so now DSS is deaf.
So like Mr. Deji, the military, sorry to cut you off.
Yes,
I'm
please.
Sorry. Are you saying there is a kind of bias towards a particular faith in the country?
Well, it is obvious if you do a content analysis of his statement, in the sense that if you are aspiring for a leadership position, you are aspiring to lead the people. You are not aspiring to lead the Muslim. If you want to lead the Muslim, go to the mosque or apply for the leadership of an Islamic organization. But in a state, there are Muslims, there are Christians, there are traditional worshippers, and your responsibility is to protect them. Is to make sure that everybody has right to practice their religion as enshrined in the constitution. So that is why you see that in some states, you see governors attending Christian functions, Islamic functions, because they are just trying to carry all the religion along. So you cannot, in a state, even if there is one, if the constitution of Nigeria allows all of us to wake up tomorrow and say, we don't want to live in Lagos again, we want to go and live in Kaduna. So are you saying that if El-Rufai is the governor, we don't have the right to reside in Kaduna? That is hypocrisy.
So Dr. Deji, I want us to speak. That's why I said. That's why I asked, when I asked that question, I said address it politically.
He should be in DSS custody, chilling with Emefiele.
Just hang in there, babe, because that's why I said you should address the case politically. If you go by what the Islamic cleric said, he did say that a state like Kaduna State, with 75% of Muslims, shouldn't have Muslim ticket. If, for instance, they have a state like Plateau State, where you have 35% of Muslims, but yet you never get the chance, or they never get the chance to have a Muslim deputy.
So
if you go by that, would you say that there probably is some sort of fairness?
Sorry, I didn't address it politically, because I need to kind of like make those salient points.
It's okay.
Now, the political angle, what you need, and I'll refer our listeners to Sokoto State, the election that ushered in Tambuwal for second term. If my memory serves me right, it won by about 300 and something votes. Now, Christians in Kaduna are more than 300 and something. So if 75%,
You mean 300 and something thousand?
no, 300 and something, just 300 and something, less than 500.
Oh, wow.
Yes, was what Tambuwa won with. So if 75% is the majority, that agreed, but 25% is a substantial minority. Underline the word substantial, significant minority. In other words, if we have 100 people here, can we say that 25 people out of those 100 are irrelevant? We cannot say so, because if 100 people are to vote and they are voting, what you need to win me is for you to have 51 and I have 49. You are already a winner. So 25% is substantial majority. And if you look at the way the Nigerian political system works, the number one calls the shot. So if there is there's Muslim majority in a state, you can say, okay, because we are the majority, let's have the first position. You, the minority, play the second role, the deputy. That is not too much. And even if you now play your politics as a mature person, it's not everything you come out and say. It's not everything that you've done your political calculation. Now it
Because
has
he said
worked
that the
for
Christians
you.
will never vote for them.
It has
And that's why
worked
he
for
did
you.
what he did.
It has worked for you. Coming out to say it is unnecessary, because if that statement were to have the consequence that it naturally should have, by now there would have been crisis all over the places. Then what are you preaching? Even if the Christians are second fiddle in your state, that means you are empowering the Muslims in your state, knowing fully well that there are extremists there, thereby putting the life of the 25% in danger.
So in other
and
words,
don't forget
the
that
statement was insightful.
yes, very insightful. And don't forget that where those 25% population resides, it is not only the governorship position that is the political position in the state. There are chairmen, councillors. In other words, you are putting future aspirants of your party in the Christian dominated areas at risk of losing election. So there are some statements you don't make because you have already won. You served 2 terms. So now you now believe that you can kind of like block the road for other aspirants of your party, because by 2027 there are people from Christian denominated areas that would contest under APC. Then why make religion the key thing to occupying political office? If there's a Muslim in the Christian dominated area in Kaduna, and this Muslim is God-fearing, this Muslim thinks about the people, this Muslim has used his personal life, money, finance, welfare to seek the development of the society, are you telling me that because that person is a Muslim now, that person is not qualified to lead? So as a leader,
But Governor El-Rufai, in fairness, also made that reference. He said that even the Christian communities in Kaduna State would not say that they've treated them unfairly, because that he ensured that development passed around, that there is equal development in everywhere, even though he gave preference to those who voted for him more.
Let me just ask, why is it that they always like the Christians to play second fiddle in the north? It is because they have forgotten how they came in. Originally, we are there part of the north. Remember that these people that are lording it over everybody now, they migrated, they were invited. It's like you're asking somebody, come and eat. The person now entered your house and now remove your hand from the
Dr.
food.
Did you agree with that?
Yes.
Well,
because they don't want to. Look, if we go history lane, they are not supposed to be telling us these things. On a more serious note, this Christian that they are saying they are 2%, they are 3%, we are there this number in the north. By the time what is going on in Benue settles down now, they will tell you that they are majority in Benue. That was what they have been doing over the years. By the time they dislodged everybody in Benue, took over their farm, took over their homes, and settled there, tomorrow they will tell you that there are 70% in Benue. What is 30%? But they forgot that they forced these people. They forced them to accept.
You were saying something.
Well, what I can add to that is that I've sat down and I have reasons to query my teachers in primary school.
Oh, wow.
Why? In primary school, they said Nigeria has 3 major ethnic groups: Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. After a while, I began to hear Hausa, Fulani.
Oh.
Then, over time, Fulani comes before the Hausa.
Exactly.
So, and I was thinking, my teachers, were you wrong?
Oh.
Like, is it that my teacher did not know then that it was Hausa, Fulani, or mainly Fulani? Because if you look at people from the north that are occupying key positions and all that now, they are the Fulanis, with great respect to them. And
but you have a lot of ethnic groups in other tribes within the north too.
But the thing is,
for instance, the vice president is from a entirely different ethnic group. So
from a different
exactly,
they are minority. They are minority.
What I just said cannot be overruled. If you take notice, while I was in primary school, what I hear is Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. But now you either hear Hausa, Fulani, or simply Fulani. So what happened to the Hausa people? Were my teacher wrong? As in, I've once thought about that. But history speaks for itself. And that's one of the problems I have about the eradication of history in our curriculum. Who did that? To what benefit?
But it's back now anyway.
Of eradicating history in our curriculum. Whoever have done that would have done it for their own benefit, which apparently is one of these reasons that I've just said. Because what we have now is, we have this ethnic domination in terms of power. And at the end of the day, it's so sad that the power itself has not helped the people that is supposed to help. I give you an example. When Obasanjo was sworn in 1999, I knew a man then from Abeokuta. Me seeing the former president on TV, he will almost run mad. He will be shouting, "Baba, Baba," meaning father, father. He's always very happy. But years down the line, Obasanjo served his 80 years. The man now is worse off. I saw him, and I almost shed tears. And I began to like, this is the man that is shouting, "Baba, Baba." Sorry, the Baba that you are shouting.
Why was he excited then?
Because Obasanjo is just from his ethnic group and religion, and religion.
Oh wow!
Christian from the southwest. That is all. The man is from Abeokuta as well. The way will be shouting, "Oh, Baba, Baba," and what is the impact of Obasanjo directly and general in the life of that man?
See, if we begin to talk about this, it's going to be
so now
it's going to take a long time, because I don't want to also talk about how we celebrated.
If you go to El-Rufai's hometown now, I'm sure that he's perhaps the best in that's his hometown. People in his hometown, if you sample, some of these beggars in Lagos, some of them are from his hometown.
You cannot.
So what is the impact of? You see, they play this game. They play this mind game to just work on the cycle of disoriented
but you
citizens.
can't exactly say this to people of Daura right now, because the past president brought a lot of development to
people are
Daura
worse off.
State.
They are worse off.
A lot of development to Daura State. Just name it.
Development.
Daura is doing so well. It's falling. Yes.
Google the poverty rating.
Go to check how good Daura is doing right now.
You are
after
right.
the 8 years of the president, you will understand that there is actually dividend of having a son of the soil. Universities, heads of some institutions, maritime academy in almost a desert. You understand that?
Yes.
So all of those are
stuffs,
are perks of having your child become, a son of the soil, head the country. So don't you think that's the reason why everyone is struggling for the same thing?
That will not have a direct impact.
They are having jobs.
No, I'm coming. A direct impact on the ordinary people in Daura.
It's
And I
giving
will
them
explain.
jobs.
And I will explain. If Daura has, let's say, 1 million population, the university there,
The Maritime Academy.
and
again.
transport,
Uh-huh.
university that Amechi built and all that, would employ maybe 50,000 people. Indirect jobs, maybe 20,000. 70,000 out of maybe
1 million.
2 million or 1 million people. Now, what
They will have good roads. You forgot that they will have good roads.
Sorry, what
they will
Buhari-
have lights.
What Buhari failed to do is to have increased the human capital development and the level of orientation and education of the Daura people, such that when you see a Daura man, you see that intellectual sophistry, to make sure that education is compulsory in Daura, not Islamic education now, not Islamic education, because you see there's a connection between overemphasis on religion and underdevelopment. Countries like UAE are trying to soft pedal for the goodness of God. UAE is more close to Mecca than Nigeria. Let's be realistic.
Exactly.
Let's be real.
Even Saudi Arabia itself.
Now UAE is more closer to Mecca than Nigeria. And if countries that are pure Islamic oriented like Indonesia, Malaysia, can have the kind of development that they have now, I think people like El-Rufai, without apologies to him, who have had the opportunity to occupy sensitive positions in the country, should be ashamed of themselves.
All right, so Dr. Deji, let's move quickly because I have quite a lot of stories to attend to, so we don't dwell on this for too long. During the June 12 statement, the president made quite a lot of stuff. He said quite a lot. So he said he warned against using court orders to truncate democracy. You did listen to that statement, and he said Nigeria. Right, he said the president described. I don't even want to go to the description. He said that we've been in a 7th round of election, a democratic election in Nigeria, and that it wouldn't be fair for people to use. It won't be tolerated. More like for people to use unnecessary court orders. This is me paraphrasing, to truncate, our democracy. And a lot of people have been reacting to that. And then I thought I would also say how he also did mention or make statement about those who can't accept defeat and during elections, and how they do not deserve to also win in future. We heard him say all of that. I don't know if I need to play that back very quickly, so we'll take a listen to it very quickly because it's there. But Dr. Deji, you heard him say that. So can you quickly react to that? The statement about those who cannot accept defeat, and about also using using unnecessary court orders to truncate democracy. Because the reason I'm saying this is a lot of people have been reacting to this, and a lot of people said, okay, so NLC wanted to democratically protest against something that you did, but you just got court order to stop them.
I was about to use that.
All right, so go ahead. Let's have your reaction.
The thing is, I agree that people shouldn't use unnecessary court orders to truncate democracy. Just like the case in Abia State, whereby someone will leave Abia State, will leave Southeast territory and go as far as Kano State, and you would want a judgment there to have effect on a governorship election in Abia State. So such judgment, such judge itself, and
that judge in the past have also been fingered for one or two things that has to do with corruption in the past.
If you, as a judge, with an elementary law student, can know the aspect of jurisdiction that you are making, if a case is brought before you for Kano, and you are making pronouncement on Abia State, in Kano State, for a governorship election, that leaves much to be desired, sincerely. And talking about using court orders to truncate democracy. Now, the president has talked about the leadership recruitment process, which I partially agree with him in the sense that you see frivolous court orders, but democracy doesn't end with the electioneering. Democracy also extends to freedom of speech, the right to protest. So government that is saying do not use court orders to truncate democracy is using court orders to kind of like truncate the indices of democracy. In other words, Labour wants to protest, you rush to court, using judiciary to stop a legitimate process that affect the life of the ordinary Nigerians. I no go lie, make I speak truth. I buy that fuel. He pay me for body. I tell you,
because the way the team pay me,
I tell you.
Do you know, I used to fill my tank up for less than 20,000 naira before, but now I fill my tank
every time I want to buy. I know the smile. I know the smile again. I'm
telling you, you not learn to cut.
Waiting I do.
You not learn to curtail your movements.
You know, I'm like waiting I do you.
but
I've not been benefiting.
But addressing his speech, I mean, addressing this in his speech, he did say that he would ensure that he brings, things that would, help us ameliorate the pain that we're going through right now. And don't you think that that's probably a step in the right direction?
You see, on hierarchy of needs, survival is first. If you are a leader, what you should think about is not how it affects the elite that are benefiting from the corrupt process of subsidy, if any, but the implication on that, on the survival of the have-nots, the talakawas. So if you have not taken step to address that, and you just remove subsidy, see, let's give all glory to God that, okay, you have means to survive. But I can tell you there are people in this country that before the removal of subsidy, they can barely feed and they are working hard.
Absolutely.
There's underemployment in this country. Based on the high level of unemployment, an employer will employ you. If you deserve 100 naira, we deserve to pay you maybe 50 naira or 60 naira.
Because a lot of companies
if you are not ready to do that job,
yes,
there are other people ready to do it.
Even because of this fair issue, instead of companies to even chop the salaries, most of them have also laid off people. So
if you did not plan for that as a leader, then I don't know what you want to say, because the implication of that is insecurity is going to increase, unemployment is going to increase, more homes are going to break. That's the truth, because a lot of men will be under pressure, and before you know it, the man will just be annoyed at he will just be getting annoyed per second.
You mean men and women in this case, not just men, because women are also on this table that you're talking about. Let's quickly play what the president said on that speech, please.
It's only natural that even as those who won and experienced victory in various elections are elated and fulfilled, those who lost are disenchanted and disappointed. But the beauty of democracy is that those who win today can lose tomorrow, and those who lose today will have an opportunity to compete and win in the next rounds of elections. Those who cannot endure and accept the pains of defeat in elections do not deserve the joy of victory when it is their turn to triumph.
All right, so Mr. Darlington, would you react to that exact statement that those who cannot, take defeat, the pain of defeat, don't deserve to also win or enjoy the triumph of victory when they win in future?
Please, I want to ask, these people he is referring to, in what way did they cause problem? You mean by going to court? Is that the crime they committed? You see, when people are talking, I expect them to think back. when Obasanjo came the second time, he told the whole world that his election is do or die. And because of that, in fact, he went like a hurricane through the southwest and collected almost all the states. Was it not the same President Tinubu who went to courts, and with the instrumentality of the court, he regained almost all the states that Obasanjo took from the southwest? Why didn't he sit down and say, okay, well, I have accepted what Obasanjo did?
Maybe as a president, his perception has changed. You know?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say he should have been thinking back. What happened recently and what happened in 1993, if you want to compare them, are they the same thing? The INEC chairman that brought all this problem today, the role he played and the role Humphrey Nwosu played in 1990, are they the same? Remember that to Humphrey Nwosu, if not for him, nobody would have known that Abiola won. In fact, if not for him, that wouldn't have been June 12th. On the 11th of June 1993, he was summoned. In fact, he was not even summoned. They were holding a meeting to stop the election. Humphrey Nwosu stumbled on that meeting in Aso Rock and told them that, look, they should allow it to continue. He wrote a book. Humphrey Nwosu wrote a book on June 12th. People should go and read it. So, I don't know why that man has not been recognized as a hero of June 12th. He did everything to make sure that that election was conducted and the results announced. On several occasions, he was told to stop announcing the election. He refused. Abacha shouted on him. People should read that book and see what happened that nobody knew about. So when he's talking about those who cannot endure, himself, has he been enduring and tolerating?
He's never lost an election before, and he said that before this election.
This is the first time he's going for the presidency for the God's sake. This is the first time now. This is the first time.
No election has he lost before. I mean, he contested,
but if you want to go to Lagos,
as a senator, as a governor, he never lost any position.
Hold on. You see, these are one of the reasons why I challenge people. When you survive through infamy, when you got a result through unscrupulous means, don't call others fools now. Don't. It's like a child who went to school and got A1 through intellectual mercenaries or through Expo. Will you come out and claim that the other person who struggled to have a B or C is a dunce? That's what he's trying to tell us here. He had never tolerated anybody, especially in Lagos. He had never. So what is he telling us? These are issues now.
All right, so Dr. Deji, very quickly, so that we can move to the next conversation. We'll have quite a lot to chat into.
Well, what I expect to hear from the president is to be speaking to INEC rather than speaking to people, fellow contestants who are aggrieved from a process that was apparently flawed. If you promise that the result will be uploaded and the result is not uploaded, definitely that is an infraction. And
but remember by law, INEC deserves or reserves the right to choose their own mode of transmission.
Well,
because that's what the Electoral Act permits them to do.
Good point. Nobody forced INEC to come up with IRF. Nobody. It was INEC.
So they also deserve the right to even say, okay, we're not using the IRF today again. Let's use another thing tomorrow.
No, you cannot. You cannot change the rule of the game at the middle of the game. If we agree that this is offside, then for that game it is offside. So for INEC to come up with IRF without anybody saying come up with it, INEC came up with it and says, which I believe that INEC would have assessed the situation. Don't forget that people in INEC are Nigerians. There's no Togolese or Ghanaians among them. They are all Nigerians. So INEC, having assessed the country, said they are going to use IRF, electronic transmission, and that gave citizens confidence. So how dare you try to play smart on the citizen? My problem with the presidential election is, if the IRF had not worked in maybe 20%, would have said, okay, human error, technical issues, at least INEC tried. But for presidential election, in an election that the top 3 contenders are from the 3 major ethnic groups in this country.
Exactly.
In that order. Really. Yes, in that order. In such an election that has ethnic sensitivity, and if my memory serves me right, I've not seen an election whereby 3, we've always had 2 anyway.
Oh, we've always had a 2-horse race, basically.
In this case, we have a 3-horse race, and all of them are from
3.5, I dare say, because Kwankwaso was also a force in the north.
Well, I won't rate Kwak and Swas.
That was before they wanted to slap him.
He took the... Oh, please. Mr. Darlings, you didn't say this. You didn't just talk about that slap. You didn't get what you just said.
Where?
The slap would have happened in Asarok anyway. He was going to be...
He actually replied.
He replied.
He
said that DJ cannot look at him, they cannot look at him in the face, that he bends down to look at him. So if that's what you're shading him for, don't worry about that. Well, so now talking about all of this, let's quickly move to Bulkachuwa's case, because so apparently, the Senator Bulkachuwa, the husband of Zainab Bulkachuwa, was trying to make a statement during the valedictory session of the Senate, of the 9th Assembly, and his mic was turned off. I'd like us to take a listen to what he was trying to say, and how he said it, and how they turned off his mic, and how he ended up not saying everything he wanted to say, right? And then what the Senate president, the outgone Senate president, said to him in that process. Let's take a listen.
Particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues.
Distinguished, please, I don't think this is a good...
Particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended her help to my colleagues.
Distinguished, please, I don't think this is a good idea going this direction. It's not a good idea.
All right, so you could hear the Senate president telling him
Why
that
was he
distinguished. I don't think it's a good idea going this direction, and he was still talking because his mouth was still moving. Apparently, they muted his mic immediately. So now, I'd like us to go back to what happened, back in history when his wife Zainab Bulkachuwa was accused of some sort of corruption when with regards to the tribunal, the case between Muhammadu Buhari and Atiku Abubakar. I like us to visit that because there were lots of cases of indictment against her at that time, and they said she was giving 6 billion naira bribe. So she now said, and she was trying to refute that. She now said, if I was giving 6 billion naira bribe, do you think I'll be here? That's what she said.
That was
you understand? And then let me even further read what an excerpt from that, where she said, my husband is a politician, but politics is a no-go area in the house. Even my children are aware of that. No politician invited to the house. My husband can pursue whatever he wants to pursue as a politician, but we hardly discuss politics in the house. All this help to guard against my influence from any politician. This was her reacting to the fact that to the allegation of being bribed 6 billion naira and throwing away Atiku's case. Right now, she did mention that she doesn't even discuss politics with her husband, but her husband is saying otherwise now in the floor of the house, where he did say that he encroached in her privacy and her career by influencing, her judgment, by making her influence judgment in favor of people
his colleagues,
of his colleagues in the house.
Remember,
In fact, let me even play. Sorry, Mr. Darlington, for quoting you. I'd like to quickly take her reaction, personal reaction to that accusation, because she actually did react to it personally, where she was trying to defend herself. So we would like to also let you know that at the meantime, I think she's retired, right? So let's take a listen to what she was saying about that.
So if I were given 6 billion naira, you think I would still be here? Huh?
Though the court ruled that the petition of the People's Democratic Party had no merit, she chose to...
All right. So remember that was when that judgment, basically threw away the Atiku Abubakar's petition, and the fact that based on the fact that lack of merit, right? And then this was her reacting that if she was giving that amount of money, would she still be here today? Let's see if we can further listen to what she said.
Forgetting that my husband was a politician, I'd even forgotten that I could have just gone. I thought being the president of the court, being the number one in that court, I would have been the best person to handle that matter. I had no doubt that I would have done justice to that matter. But once they raised that issue, they raised a doubt in my mind. A doubt is that no matter what I do, no matter what I say, Nigerians would not look at it, because they are always looking for a scapegoat. They will not look at it in the way I would have looked at it, that I'm a judicial officer, that I'm being impartial.
All right, so she spoke calmly about how she couldn't have even been influenced, and you did hear her say that herself. Mr. Darlington, very quickly, you were saying something.
With what she has said now, you can see that there is no truth in any of them.
How do we believe? Who do we believe, her husband?
That's what I'm saying. We should believe the husband. We should believe the husband, because he's the owner of the house. He's the man that married her. And I'm sure over there, you know how women are influenced. No matter your education, your husband's always lord it over you. So she cannot deny it. Remember, it was this type of sentiment and bias that made Nnamdi Kanu to ask Mrs. Nyako to excuse herself from his case. Remember, at a point, IPOB leader said, no, you can't preside over my case because of this bias. So it is common. Let nobody deny it. It is very, very common. Except the man will contradict us. But he has not been able to. So most of the cases you have today is tainted with politics. That is just the truth. It didn't start today. I've given you extra from what happened between Awolowo and Shagari many years ago. So the cause now has been taken over by the executive.
All right,
and that is a very big problem.
So
and that is why you see people moving from, just like what he said, the federal high court has no boundary. Every federal high court, whether you are in Kano, you are in Enugu, or you are in Abia, you have no boundary. So somebody can move from Abia to go and obtain judgment from Kano, as long as the federal high court. That is what the law says. That's the position. And that is because you feel that that's where you can be listened to. But it is a problem when a federal high court in Kano have ruled, and then the same person will now go to another federal high court in Abia. And the federal high court in Abia, knowing fully well that a matter has been ruled, this matter has been ruled, this matter has been educated on, and then you see deliberated on it, that is where the problem comes.
So, Mr. Darlington, with this whole revelation right now,
yes,
what do you think is the fate of the present presidential tribunal going on?
We cannot say, because human beings are not the same. I cannot say because others have heard, then this particular one will heard. Samani, this is the first time he's heading a tribunal. I'm not going to give him thumb knocks until he has finished his job, but he should read the mood of the nation.
Okay. So, Dr. Digi, very quickly, now we have seen what has played out now. And considering that this is coming at a time where people already have doubts about the judiciary, and we have cases, not just a case, in court concerning the just concluded election, where does this place our faith or our hope in the judiciary?
First, I don't know who to believe between Senator Bukachua and his wife. But a look at the African/Nigerian family system, which we all are exposed to because we all emerge from one family or the other. And a look at the family system in Nigeria / Africa can give us an answer. Now, your family, immediate family, your wife, your brother, your uncle, your sister are your go-to person. In other words, what you cannot share outside, what you cannot share with people, you share it with them because you feel secure. The influence outsiders do not have on you, they have it on you. For example, the influence I don't have on you, what I cannot collect from you, it's easy for your brother to come and say, oh, sister, this, that, and definitely you're going to subscribe to the view of your brother. So there's no way.
So you're saying family easily influences us, right?
There's no way you can disconnect politics from the judicial thinking of Justice Bukachua, being the fact that her husband is a ranking politician, a senator in the ruling party. Even if the man do not want to intervene in politics at all, politicians will go to him, will lobby him, and as I've always said, this is one of the problems with our democracy. We should strive to make sure that our democratic process, electionary process, ends at the ballot. So long as we keep going to the judiciary, all what we have is judicracy. Because at the end of the day, right now, millions of Nigerians have voted, but this election will eventually be determined by less than 15 men who, apologies to them, are not supermen. They evolve from a society whereby there is not much of a effective education.
So are you saying that it's possible? There's a possibility of a personal sentiment, or of possibility of personal sentiments, to get in the way in these cases that are in court?
There is no way it will not get in the way. Now, look at it. The husband, not under duress, not under interrogation, said it publicly that he encroached on the independence of his wife. I didn't force him to say that. So if Anna said that, okay, I don't know who to believe, whether the husband or the wife in this case, but what can lead me to what to believe is to look at the African family system. How does the family system in Africa works? What is the influence of your spouse over you? Your spouse naturally, because if your spouse is connected to something, that thing naturally gains your interest, because it is believed that your spouse is the love of your life. So the interest of the love of your life is automatically your interest. So for you guys to be staying under the same roof, sleeping on the same bed, she's cooking for you, and you guys will have private talks, do some mathematics in the other room, and you expect that.
I didn't know we solve math everywhere. All right, so Lagos, phone lines are officially open. Let's have you dive in on this conversation.
And to add to what you said about June 12th, Abiola's son should not jubilate because somebody he claimed to fought for June 12th is now on the throne.
I'm going to also play that inside, but let's just let Lagosians know that the phone lines are open so they can jump in. All right. So Lagos, phone lines are open. We'd like to take your thought and reaction on these conversations. You should be free to, jumping on any of them. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call. 0700 903 903 903. You can also call us on 0700 903 9039. 0700 903 9039. These are the numbers to reach us with. Let's get to take your thought and reaction. Now, the 9 number is actually our WhatsApp line. So you can just save that number on WhatsApp, so you can always reach us on WhatsApp. So 0700 903 9039. That's a WhatsApp line. But if you want to call us on direct call, it's 0700 903 903 903. So I quickly play that excerpt from Abiola's son, or maybe after a few calls, because our phone lines are already buzzing. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan from London.
Jonathan, you're welcome. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Okay, I say hello to all the crew there.
They can hear you.
You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you so much.
So
Welcome.
let me quickly make my contribution. And this statement from the president, Tinubu, this gaslighting statement. So, and the statement is a banana peel to judiciary again, because it's a banana peel to judiciary. So when you are trying to say that people should not use court to truncate democracy, but you use the same court to recover some of your mandates during Obasanjo era. So don't think that maybe somebody's choosing. You say people should go to court. Why are you still turning back to the same court and now pointing at the finger to the people that went to court? It's not fair. Justice must be served. So that is this is the first time we are seeing opposition standing on their leg and pointing accusing finger to people in power, and so they are saying that people should not use a court to truncate democracy. Democracy has standard, so let's justice stay to democracy has come to stay. Right. So let's justice stay to.
Thank you.
So that's my own. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from? Welcome.
My name is Comrade Iroko from Ejigbo.
Comrade Iroko, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yes, I greet my double guests in the studio.
They can hear you. They can hear
you. God bless you, ma. Thank you, ma. My contribution is this. You see, dividends of democracy is what all the masses want. But as of today, if I could say something, democracy is dedicated because of Mr. Abiola. But in the political realm, what will be dedicated for the Igbos if Ojukwu will not be implemented or be dedicated any day for him in the nation. But I don't know who I can dedicate from Hausa, because the Hausa are living under the hypocrisy of Yorubas. I'm coming, ma. Let me say one thing. If I could remember the time of 1993, and when democracy was about to arise, it is Abiola that is on ground. But before Abiola will be on ground, something came before then. It is between Abiola and Baba Awolowo then. That is why, if there is no justice, democracy will never be stand in this nation. Let me tell you the reason why. The same Abiola that fought for democracy is the one that go against Baba Awolowo during the time of when Nigeria has never been open eye. That if Nigeria became Nigeria then, Nigeria is supposed to have been manifest or in a nation, in the continent as of today. Let me tell you, I'm coming because when I will arrive as a nation, we will know where we are going. But because of politics, we don't know what we are
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Let me not say too much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. All right, so let me quickly let me quickly take some messages. Good evening, precious and the guest. Pantami got fake professorship, but was awarded to him by Professor Oti. Remember Professor Nina Oti, the rec? Yes, he said that you people healed her and say she's holy Madam Abi. Definitely, the woman is corrupt too by awarding the fake professorship. Google it. She awarded it to him. Tunde from Ijegu sent that message. Mr. Darlington, I think he was referring to I think this person is referring to you. Let me quickly take another message.
The person didn't know the story. No. It was not in Nenna. She was not even around. Please let her go and read the story very well. It was not in Nenna.
All right. So then this says, good evening, precious. Do you know that students' loan bill has been passed? Yes, of course I know that. We'll also look at it. He said, I hope you know the implication very soon now. They will increase tuition fees in all public universities, and then adding to the suffering from removal of fuel subsidy we have not even seen anything yet. Wait, well, I didn't look at it from that direction.
Of course, I wanted to go there. Yeah,
because so very quickly, Mr. Darlington and Dr. Deji. So the president has signed the student loan bill, and a lot of people are lauding it. That that's a very welcome development, especially considering the fact that Nigerian students can now get loan at interest-free rate to be able to study elsewhere abroad. You know how this is now. So I mean, almost everybody who studies in universities abroad takes loans, because you can't study without loan. You know this in the US, in the UK, of course. You one way or the other have to take loan, and we've been lauding this. We've been happy about this. But this person's statement now, what do you make of it, Dr. DJ?
Well, the thing is, in Nigeria is different from the United States, the UK, and other advanced countries of the world. Now, student loan, the thing is, the implication is that because there is a loan, what has government put in place? Won't we have a situation whereby people will seek admission just to get the loan, then they will just drop out of school? I remember,
and use the loan to do something else.
I remember trader money, farmer money. Nigerians will believe that this loan is their share of the national cake. And what is the process of paying back the loan? What I think government should do, rather than be giving loans, is to make like a national policy. Instead of giving loan, make education free at all levels, at the university level. Because the truth is, people won't pay the loan. That's just the truth. If we are to be realistic with ourselves, Nigerians won't pay the loan. And how even will people pay the loan?
When you finish school.
When you finish.
And there is no job.
Which work?
Don't go there. Don't go there. I was going to go to that place.
So, like somebody that graduate now and there's no job, and you are dragging the person to come and pay, and the person will tell you, I don't have a job. So at the end of the day,
how will you get the money off me?
So instead of, and another thing is the political class. Whose obsessiveness for amassing illicit wealth is insatiable, will at the end of the day put fake names and all that, and the loan will just, you just see one politician with one,
with 100 lists,
with one yellow chick, spending 100 days in the Maldives with the loan that the talakas are supposed to use to be used to study. Based on the endemic corruption in this country, instead of signing a bill that for example, the money that Buhari said is always sharing, in his administration, I'm yet to see one person. Maybe you can point one or two person to me that has benefited from that money.
I was expecting my mother and my aunt in the village.
We are sharing money. I've never seen one person who has been a beneficiary of that money that is being shared.
Maybe you've not searched very well. Maybe within the north. So let me quickly run through some messages. I didn't say anything. Let me run through some messages. You want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to about the student loan. There is also J terms for defaulters. So it's not just like, I don't think it's going to be business as usual. There
ordinary
terms for defaulters, and also I think after the loan is repayable 2 years after graduating, after NYSC.
So will you give me a job? That's exactly what he said. Will you give me a job to pay?
So let me just respond to that.
After 2 years after NYSC and I don't have a job.
All these firms that are lending people money.
Jail is going to be full.
Firms that are lending people money. People are still defaulting. Private firm. Not to now talk of government.
Mr. Deji, what can you make people like this?
Mentality that Nigerians have.
let me even tell you one thing.
Okay.
Tinubu is trying to warm his heart or himself into the heart of Nigerians by bringing up all these populist programs, which cannot be sustained. It's not sustainable. There is where is the money in the first place? Do you know how many people you are talking of in the universities? Do you know how many federal universities for that matter?
All right.
I don't like this idea of everything they will celebrate, like the electricity bill. Buhari signed it before he left office, but some section of Nigeria and the press are attributing it to Tinubu now that he signed it. What does that mean? Buhari signed it before he left.
All right, so let's quickly take a few more messages. Prince from Ilasa says, "Good evening, Precious. Thank God for Mr. Darlington in the studio today and the other guests. I thank." He says, "And for Emefiele, I saw the DSS carrying him in an airplane. A man that suffered Nigeria with such cashless policy. I don't want to actually look to that. So that's not in our conversation. Say, Precious, you know how many people died during. But let me escape this because for some reasons we did not talk about this for very specific reasons. So let's just leave that and face another matter. Your guest might be wrong. He says, in regards to saying El-Rufai wouldn't have a place if the terrorist group called Boko Haram established a government. He definitely would have a place, Dr. Deji. That's referring to you.
Supporting them.
His recent comments shows a bit of his lineage and unspoken extremist views. Was it not same man who paid bandits to stop killing people? Why would you pay someone you don't have any business with or haven't employed? You now said, look at Deborah Samuel's case, Leah and others who have been killed for their faith. I remember then in Kano, a man was beheaded for preaching. Over 40 people, worshippers, were killed in a church in Ondo State. 2 Catholic priests were adopted in Katsina State on May 25th that year. Gunmen killed at least 15 people in a university theater being used by Christian worshippers in the northern city of Kano State. And later in 2012, at the least 19 people died in an attack on a church in central Nigeria. Ina says he said there have already been 23 separate attacks on church premises and people linked them so far this year. For the whole of 2021, we were 31. He said there were 31 attacks, and in 2022 there were 18 according to data collected by ACLE Day. And he said, in all of these madness, how many times have the Christian retaliated?
Yes.
If it was the other way around,
I wonder,
there wouldn't have been a country called Nigeria by now. That's what this person said. Oh wow. Then Okbeke Inde from Ijegu says, good evening everyone in the studio. We appreciate Tinubu leading spirit. Why is your guest talking with hatred and bitterness against Tinubu's speech? Is it because his man Obi didn't win? Tinubu is part of our leader that makes Lagos a peaceful state. Can he mention one single leader in his region that has pedigree like Tinubu? He's here in the West because his political and religious leaders have failed in his region. Mr. Darlington, shot fired at you. Let me go back to more messages. Good evening, Precious. Please, where is President Tinubu reading news in his speech this morning? Anna Paul Kolka. Anna Paul, leave me alone. I'm answering your question.
Oh my God.
And hi, Precious. Is anything new in this country? More confessions are going to come out from from the very mouth of political demagogues. They have stolen everything, including truth and decency. On one day, the beautiful ones will rise and unison and retake this country. Chika from sending that message from Lekki. And then this quickly says, if President Tinubu truly won the election, which judge in their right mind will truncate the election in favor of another? He should be confident in that, what INEC have declared, or should he not? This is Ike from USA that's sent in that message from US. And Emma from First Acna says, if you like, if you ask like the proverbial ostrich with a head in the sand, if the Senate was sure about his statement, or the senator was sure about his statement about a situation from his home to the affairs that concerns public office can't be assertive, then please, can you give me the reasons for the quick reflexes the president of the Senate employed in turning him down and saying off the mic, honorable, off the mic. So quite a couple of reactions. Lagos, just to let you know that our phone lines are still open. The WhatsApp number, in case you want to call us on WhatsApp, if you're watching from YouTube and you'd like to be part of this conversation, call us on YouTube, 0700-903-9039. That's the WhatsApp line. You can call that line if you are calling from the diaspora. But a direct call is 0700-903-9039. But WhatsApp line is 0700-903-903. Hello, good evening to you.
Sister Precious, this is Obi Daddy calling from
Obi, somebody is asking for your number. You heard that day, right?
Yes, I had him that day.
Okay.
You know, I have 5 radios. I left one for VOP so that I don't have time to tune. And when I have
I
five,
didn't hear
one
what
for
you
Nigerian
said.
info, one for VOP, one so that I don't waste time. When I go, I just pick on there, you know.
Chai. Obi. Yes, sir.
You see my only pen in this speech. Humphrey Wosu. I rapped with Aletali. I could remember 1993. I was beating hell from airport because my friend was answering Cletus Wosu.
Oh.
My brother. Yes. Humphrey Wosu was beaten flat. And he has never been recognized since that. I thought that Tinubu, even if Buhari did not, that Tinubu would have remembered Humphrey Wosu. It's unfair. When people make statements and continue to go tribal as he said, Humphrey Wosu is not an able man. He stood his ground. Yeah, nobody beat Yakubu. They just beat his pocket, and he changed his views on this election. And for Mefele, he should not worry himself. Let him hold Buhari on his trouser tight. Anything did you do? Yes, Buhari send me. You do? Yes, Buhari send me. At the end of the day, we are going to hear more stories.
Unfortunately, they will not call Buhari to come and answer questions. It's him that they will call now. No, he's already answering the questions.
It will be like Dasuki that had Jonathan. That's why Dasuki didn't go to jail now. He had Jonathan say he was the one that was telling him to bring money. So what happened? The case did not go anywhere.
So are you saying that past presidents are too big to answer questions? Dr. Deji, that's what you said something in the beginning. Go ahead.
No. I don't know why they're not inviting them to answer questions. I don't know. And for El-Rufai, I told you something. You know, I'm a short man. Tinubu in my El-Rufai is too tall. Like our all these tall people, we that are short, you know, they bounce. They make trouble, so you don't blame El-Rufai.
If you want to talk to me directly, Obi. Don't cut corners. If you want to talk to me directly.
Have you seen it?
When I was young, I cannot change somebody like you. You are friendly. People like you are too hard to get. I love those kind of girls that are tough. I get up here. I don't want to. I like them. People like you that play with everybody. You are hard to get, you. My sister, take the number for that guy now.
I don't even know how I'm going to save the number, and I don't know how I will do two of you. You push it, just go and meet yourself somewhere. So if you're on social media, just call out your social media account now, so that if he's listening, he will hear you. You try and do one. Now you don't do Facebook, you don't do Instagram, you don't do.
No, I don't do that.
Maybe if he's doing, I'll tell him to follow to come look. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Where am from? Bring this other brother. Where was Pal Darlington?
Now you could.
What did he say? What did he say?
He said Dr. Deji is worse than Darlington.
I want to give you people awards. People are bringing fearless people to your station. You are going to go too far. Go too far, you see. I'm praying for you people.
Thank you. Obi Mo. Thank you. Obi Anyi. It is our collective Obi. Please greet our wife for us. So tell her. Leave my past governor out of this statement. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. So you guys will not talk without mentioning my governor in all these conversations. All right, Lagos phone lines are still open. 0700 903 903 903. We'll have quite a lot of reaction on YouTube. Mr. Walla says, Papi BC and performance info we got. The man only got about 10% of the votes, and he is here lecturing us on democracy. Wow, now you do like this now. CK Bulldozer says, I'm from northern Uganda. Thanks to the Democrats in Nigeria. Guys, let's keep it alive. Hence our children's futures. We are keeping it alive like this now. Obi2Obi says, Democracy Day we are celebrating today. If it was not Humphrey Wosu, INEC chairman, with his competence, why can't Mahmoud Yakubu do the same thing? That's what he's saying. And Casey Onyi says, finally, Nigerians are getting sense. This fear remover is finally bringing wisdom to all of us. Before our wisdom being disappear. All right. And Bobby Mawan says, I love the station. Much love to you. We love you too. So let's go back to the phone lines because we still have the late MK Abiola's son's speech to address. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Yeah,
good evening. No, good evening.
Promise of God.
Yeah.
It's a promise.
Yeah, good evening. You're welcome.
Welcome.
I'm Ben from Eda.
Ben, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Precious, I mean, this thing Tinubu said is wrong because, you know, judiciary is the final phase of election.
Mm-hmm.
So we are in the
How can it be final phase of election? No, I didn't even get that, and I answered it.
Let me tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
After this now, they are challenging the victory of Tinubu. After this now, Parliament of Tinubu will, nobody will ever challenge him again. Immunity will cover him. Do you understand? It is as Darlington said, about 15 men now will decide the winner of the election. Millions of these people voted. As concerning the people that say they fought for democracy, they say, no, I'm not happy when I hear something like that. They know.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm not happy when I hear something like that because if you see Babangida and Abacha during their time, we were not suffering. In Nigeria, we were happy. Food everywhere. I mean, fuel everywhere. And the refineries were working. Their 13 years business was far much better than 24 years of democracy. Still, this thing was not like that. They look at all mainland beach, infrastructure everywhere, maintaining everything. Everybody was very careful, working with them. And now, somebody can just carry money and run away like that. As for Patanjo, Apiola, we are crying June 12. Would we have to perform? Are we asking ourselves, what of telephone? When Nigeria would have telephone, they get in the contract. Did we have the telephone? What of the ICT fella used to say? ICT. Should you know the song?
I think your line is already distorted. I can hear you. Yes, we heard you.
So we do have performed well. Is it that and the Humphrey Woods they refuse to recognize? I'm celebrating Humphrey Woods and I'm celebrating Babangida for giving us such an election. No matter that at the end we are not missed. It was superb. I was there at that second. Only was just say if you people, if Baba did not win, we know we are here, we will come. If you do not win your polling unit, we will come. But nobody will stop in any polling unit. It was people everywhere. And somebody, one radio station played the voice of Humphrey Woods during their afternoon show. What he spoke with Savannah newspaper. It was super what he said. His testimony was wonderful. He said that he was ready to die, to sacrifice his life for Nigeria. That is such a sacrifice that he was ready to lay down his life for
exactly that what he said.
Nigeria, for a good working Nigeria. And that is it. Yakub Mahmoud did not do something like that. So we should not saying that somebody sacrificed for Tinubu fought for democracy, this one for the fight for these people we are into now. Look at that, people are now dying. I've never seen Nigeria crying for hunger before. People are crying for hunger, dying on the street.
Thank you.
And that is what we are celebrating.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you so much. God bless you too. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So let me see if I can do justice to some more messages I have here. Ima from First Act says, if you ask, okay, I think I've taken this message. And then Precious, I'm tired though. I'm what? I won't come out. Someone should show me the way out of this confusion. Nigeria and a crime scene. Everyone should tread carefully in order not to contaminate evidence that litters around. I want Jack by Alex from Iju sent in that he said, I have shut my ears so I won't faint. I am tired of these scandals. Alex, calm down now. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. And then this says, good evening, Madam Precious. My name is Naimeka from Ejigbo. There is a woman called Nigeria, and she has 2 children. Names are religion leaders and lawmakers. These 2 children refuse to cover their mother's shame of past 63 years, and their mother is dancing naked in the market for past 63 good years. But Mr. President, if he believes in true democracy, he should step down before anything. You went a lot. I'm sorry, I can't take further that message for that. Good evening, Precious. Today would have been a good democracy day if the 2023 election, both the governorship and presidential elections, were credible. Also, without vote buying and Agbero intimidation and INEC policy conspiracy. Unfortunately, this is what played out. We have not learned from this anything. Also, the morning the results of both presidential and governorship election were announced, the people were mourning instead of rejoicing. The same today broadcasting while Nigerians are waiting for the court to overturn the daylight robbery. You went ahead with that. And evening VOP, please tell Mr. Darlington that it was the woman of Abia Rec that gave Pantami Prof. And also tell him that Buhari did not sign the electricity bill. it was presented to him, but he refused to sign it. Let him go and check his book. Well, Google it. Okay, so I think the direction Mr. Darlington was going to is that the President Buhari removed it from the executive list to the concurrent list.
Exactly.
If I'm correct, and by that he already gave legitimacy to the states
telling you.
to handle their. And remember, the electricity, railroads, there were even prisons were part of what he removed from the executive list to the concurrent list.
I have always told them, when you want to come after me with intelligence, I will support you. I will even surrender. Now, wow.
So by the president or by Buhari giving removing those from executive list to concurrent list, he's already giving legitimacy to the states to handle their stuff. So that's exactly what he said. So you can also Google that, the list of items that the past president moved from executive to concurrent list.
That's Pressure, please, will they sign it twice?
Oh, calm down, Mr. Darlington. So there is a bill from the National Assembly about this that this president now signed. And this would have only been signed after the president had moved it from executive to concurrent list. Am I correct, Dr. DG?
Well, what President Buhari could have done, being a retired general, is to make sure that even though he has failed in his main constituency, is to make sure that he clears the path for his successor not to fail. I don't see him. I don't think he did much to ensure the security of the state. Now, he campaigned on economy, security, corruption. Now, he failed woefully on the three. But if we are to narrow his campaign,
security, economy, and corruption.
Now, if we are to narrow his campaign promise, he made many promises, but 3 core areas. Now, if we are to narrow it to one, do we have to pick the one that aligns with his constituency? Which is, he as a retired general should have performed excellently in the area of security. Now, having failed woefully in that regard, I would have thought that he would have ensured that, okay, before leaving the state police, so that the Nigerian society can be well governed. But the problem is, when Nigerian
there's a lot of politics around the state.
When Nigerian politicians are in the opposition, because they lack that power of a group to carry arms legitimately, they cry for state police. Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been more in the opposition in his life politically than in the ruling party.
Exactly.
And he has advocated always for state police. Now he is the president. But you know what?
Yes.
He will not grant that state police.
Why?
He will not. Because why?
He will not.
Why? Good. If you look at him, he's a power-oriented politician. Study his antecedent carefully. He's a kind of politician that give him power, he wants more power.
Yes.
Give him more power, he wants more power. Give him more power, he wants more power. For that kind of person, he will not grant that state police because he will want that absolute power at his disposal. Now,
how about if he shocks or disappoints you and grants it?
No, I am speaking based on fact. Human beings can change. That's why we are human beings. Because, for example, if you tell your maid that prepare rice for me by tomorrow morning, because you are a human being, and that is one of the limitations of social science research. By tomorrow, they may have prepared the rice and dish it, and you say, no, I want custard first. Why? Because you are a human being. And that's the difference between social science and pure science. 2 molecules of oxygen and all that, we always lead to water and all of that. It is constant. But for a human being, there are limitations. So I won't be surprised if it change. But now I cannot read the future. But as a political scientist, I can trace its antecedent politically. And Nigeria should comprise of two kind of politicians, and a mix of it perhaps could have paid off. Power-oriented politician, development-oriented politician. Unfortunately, what we have more is power-oriented politician, and the current president now is the master of the game when it comes to somebody that knows the importance of power. He doesn't joke with power. Given the opportunity to rule in Lagos State, he has held Lagos State tight in his hands till date. No other person has done that successfully. if my history of Nigeria serves me right,
You are very correct.
no one has made godfatherism more pronounced than him
in any state.
In any state, even if I can assert that from independence, Obasanjo, Awolowo, no one has made godfatherism more pronounced than him. Because
so now that he's president, what do
now that he's president, the risk is, and take my assertion for it, by the time he spent 8 years, I won't be surprised if I see him having say in the election in Togo, Chad Republic, like using his resources and perhaps the resources of the state to influence election in those places, because by his antecedent, even when this senator died and they were to do a kind of like a by-election. The election that produced Senator maybe Abiru or
Abiru from Apapa, when somebody died,
15 people
came out,
contested.
Yes,
we all know
the
importance of ambition and how people want power in Nigeria, because in Nigeria power is sweet. You can do a lot. If you are in power in Nigeria today, you can go to the expressway and block it for 1 hour. Nothing will happen.
So what would be the catch for him by using his power to influence elections in other countries?
Good.
What is there for him?
Good. Now, what is there for him is building his own political empire. For example, he is closer to the government of Guinea. He and Nigeria.
You're talking about Guinea-Conakry?
Yeah. Nigeria is as worse as we can say. We are better than some of these countries. If you go to some of these countries, you say, oh, so Nigeria is even still better off. And he, as president of the country and is close to them, because he cherishes power, because he is power oriented, he may, let me use the word may to be on the safe side, may use his influence to kind of like make sure his ally emerge. Now, I made reference to a small election, an election as small as senatorial, 15 people contested, and at the end of the day, they say, oh, the party has come up with a position. Baba Sokwe, and everybody was forced to step down.
What does Baba Sokwe mean anyway? What does Baba Sokwe mean?
Father has spoken.
Oh,
now look at the election of Obanikoro, Musili Obanikoro, the primary election, who apparently won the senatorial ticket, but they gave it to the woman that deputized Ambode.
Yes.
So when you are dealing with someone that is power oriented, definitely, and the problem with that is right now the president should be thinking about policy debate. But my fear is that because what I can trace to him is largely more power acquisition than entrenchment of development, I'm afraid the president right now may be busy thinking about who will become the Senate president. It must be my man.
Tomorrow is the D-Day.
It must be my man.
Let's
and after that, sorry, just a moment. Okay. And after that, he'll be like, oh, who will be the speaker? This, that, oh, Kogi election. It must, that is
Bayelsa election. We have to win that. Innocent election. We have to win that. Let's take a break, please. I need to go for a commercial break.
To his second term.
I need to go for a commercial break.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
All right.
So thank God he's saying it. Please, Lagos. It's not from Darlington.
All right, so let's quickly take a commercial break. Lagos will be right back. This is the Evening Rush 90.3 Voice of the People FM. Still with Precious and everyone in the house.
We don't have.
Naija, better drink don land o. Na from Gihog Distilleries Companies Limited, Ghana. For better drink, carry this ogbonge drinks wey dem dey call
Mandigo Bitters and Oga Kwata of them all wey be Herb African Bitters, aka Oga Ato.
Hey, this one na one in town drink o wey get natural herbs and other better ingredients wey go give you smooth and unique taste. No be there yet o.
Mandigo Bitters and Oga Kwata of them all wey be Herb African Bitters, aka Oga Ato.
Carry full power chamber wey go help you bring out your strength for people wey wan go extra mile. Na Sunny Continental West Africa Limited, the market and distributor. For more inquiry, call 0803-551-9028 or 0813-957-1446. Mandigo Bitters and Herb African Bitters. This one, a new one in town drink.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, number 42, Muritala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also offer complimentary pick-up and drop-off from the Lagos Airport.
Take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant.
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So, why wait? Book your stay today and experience ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
We have been serving you hot and fresh content on radio, and you have been loving it. Now we're taking it further. Catch us live on YouTube at VOP TV for all the juicy content you can't resist. Talk shows, exclusive interviews, news, lifestyle, and more. It's all about you. VOP TV, show up, speak up.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Line Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Coswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less. The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and cold berry ice cream delights in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and cold berry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, Festac Town, 28 Adenira Ogunsanya Street, Surulere, 13 Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and cold berry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions.
Lagos, you're welcome back. 90.3 Voice of the People FM. So I'll quickly take play that Vox Pop from the son of late MKO Abiola, Jamil Abiola, as what he did say concerning the June 12 celebration today, and how he did more like hail the leadership of the current president, that is talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Let's quickly take a listen to him and what he had to say.
It keeps going up and down, up and down. when it happened, I was just 17 years old, and of course, I was a teenager, very, very excited that my father was going to win the election. And the day of the election, the night, he was hungry. He came to my mother's apartment, downstairs, and he was like, he wants to eat. She was tired, so she just made his food for him and, gave him his food.
Hello?
He just laughed and he said, well, I'm going to win. He was so optimistic. We were all so happy. The following day, the election took place. We were happy as well when the results started trickling in and we knew he was coasting towards victory. Then when it now happened and it was announced... These elections is different in the sense that we live in different times. This time, we live in a time of fake news. We live in a time of social media. We didn't have to go through that then. So a lot of things that we hear, we also have to be very careful what we believe. And unfortunately for us, we are not in a position to actually know how to know the truth from the falsehood. But one thing I do know is that the election was keenly contested. And I also know that if it wasn't free and fair to a certain level, by now, people would not have accepted the result. Because, if it was rigged and people were so sure of it, we will not have so much peace in this country. Because the police is not going out there clamping on anybody. People have accepted the results. Now, and it was so keenly contested. By the time the results came out, each of the candidates won 12 states. And if it wasn't fair and fair, I don't think each of them would have won 12 states. If it wasn't fair and fair, the issue of Abuja, would not have come up. They would have, if they were manipulating everything, they would have manipulated Abuja. I don't believe that Abuja is the one has to win Abuja to become the president of Nigeria. But some people believe that. And if it wasn't fair and fair, the people that were rigging the election and manipulating it would have made sure they manipulated Abuja as well. But so what I'm trying to say is that these issues are in court. We should see what is going to happen at the end of the day. The judiciary...
All right, so Dr. Deji, Mr. Darlington, you heard what Jamiu Abiola said. Jamiu Abiola is the son of late Kudirat Abiola, or late Kudirat and MKO Abiola. He did say he doesn't believe that the election was rigged, because if the election were truly rigged, that by now we wouldn't have had the kind of peace and calm that we have. People would have been in the street protesting. Police would have been, trying to enforce peace all around. So that people have accepted the election, or people accept the election, to a certain degree or to a certain level, and that's why we have the kind of peace that we have right now. I would like you to react to that.
Well, is Jamiu speaking on behalf of Abiola family or for himself? Because the last time I checked, Kola is the eldest son of Abiola. So this one he's saying now, is it that he's looking for a job from Tinubu or what? How can he make such a categorical statement? Is he INEC? Has the court decided? So because we have not gone to the street, you can imagine how people think. So if you don't like something, the only way to express your anger is to go and be burning things. Jamiu, I hope you know what you are saying. Are you trying to instigate people or what? Is it not court that settles all matter? If you have any grievance, are you not supposed to go to court and sort out yourself? Why is it not saying that people should have been doing this or that? That's not how to express grievances now. 1993 is not 2003. I mean 2023. They are two different things. So you cannot think that what happened in 1993 should be happening in 2023. We have grown now. We have grown. So you don't use that such thing to compare notes. It's not proper. As for what you said, in fact, it leaves more to be desired. You are simply not being fair. The people that were fighting for your dad under Nadeko, why have you not asked yourself? They have been in government for 8 years. Was your dad recognized? Was Abiola recognized as a president that won an election? Was he? So all this one you are saying now, that means you are not even being fair to your dad. You people should have fought that he should be recognized as a past president of this country. But you did not. Now you are saying another thing entirely. Look, if what you are saying is to be recognized, this government will not recognize you. I challenge Tinubu to declare Abiola a president. I challenge him to do that. That's when I know that you are saying the truth. When you see things, you cannot say exactly what happened. And I know Abiola, he will tell you the truth. Jamiu, you are not talking for Abiola family. You are not. You are speaking for yourself.
So, Dr. Deji, very quickly, would you like to react to that?
Well, I think Jamil is speaking for himself. But if you look at what happened to Abiola and what the late icon of democracy stands for, and what we have today, and if you look at the charisma, the philosophy of Abiola and the philosophy of Tinubu, there are similarities and there are differences. But for want of time, one thing is clear, then that is, if Abiola were to be alive today, would he have been happy that Nigeria is the way it is? The man that Jamil says his election is credible, well, if he feels that the election is credible, would his father has felt the same way? And what if what his father was fighting for, which is entrenchment of democracy, do we really have that democracy today? The kind of election that produced his father then, is it the kind of election that we have today? So I think his statement does not really portray the philosophy of his father.
Exactly.
But the thing is that father and son might share the same blood, but they are two different people. And he might have seen Tinubu as the best person for the job, but saying that if the election is wrong, that people would have been out protesting, I think that is very illogical. In the sense that when people were mobilizing to protest, it is still the same supporters of Tinubu that were shouting, go to court, go to court. And go to court becomes like a street balance, that go to court, as if, you know, when I heard people go to court, and thank God I'm a Yoruba man, so I have the liberty to say this, because Abiola, Tinubu and I are both Yoruba people. All of us are Yoruba. So there's no ethnic
bias
to this. Now, and I would make my point from Yoruba philosophy. If a child, if you have issue with a child, and the child says, mommy me, that means I'll go and tell
mommy,
my mother. I'll go and report you to my mother.
My mom.
No, I'll go and report you to your mother.
Okay.
Let's say we are both children now, and you have an issue with me, and I say I'll go and report you to your mother. And if you have done something, I know you say it's lost, so that means go and tell. It is allegedly believed that you know that
your
me
mother will
going to
support
tell your mother has no consequence. You already know your mother. So when people say go to court, I feel taken aback that the court itself is an independent arm that will look at issues on a case by case basis.
We just egg vox pops of the Bokachuas now, and that's part of the courts.
Go to court. Sorry, the judges there, do you already know their mind, or are they your brothers that you now say go to court? Because IRF did not work. INEC collected money. INEC did not follow
INEC collected money from who?
INEC collected money to provide IRF.
Okay, good.
And IRF did not work according to the guideline presented by INEC, and people will say go to court as if like the court means nothing. Now people have gone to court. You are now still saying, oh, they want to truncate democracy. How? If people are going to the street, we may have a repetition of answers. So Nigerian citizens, they say they know the kind of government they have. And that is what, not that I support election ending at the desk of the judiciary. No, because the Bukachua's case is an example. And in our country, if you want to know how effective Nigerian judicial system is, Nigerian judicial system is not an isolation of the general Nigerian society. Look at our educational system if it is poor. Look at our health sector if it is poor. Look at our economy if it is poor. Look at our road network if it is poor. Don't expect a super judiciary, because that judiciary is a product of that society. The judges in that judicial system evolve from that faulty educational system, evolve from that corrupt society, and those judges do not fall from heaven. They have nearest and dearest that can easily influence their decisions. So for we to now subject the will of millions of people, you see, we don't value democracy in this country, where people are speaking primary data, raw data. People are speaking their mind through the ballot. It is not correct. And I emphasize, as a political scientist, it is not correct that you now take the will of the people to about 15 men to decide. Now, judiciary is what is where the people have to run to based on the kind of system we practice. What is now the solution to that is to make sure we have an effective political system whereby it will be difficult for you to breach that system. So if we have an effective political system, electioneering process, the judiciary itself will be at rest. Now, the judges are busy. Is it only politicians that exist in Nigeria? The judges now are busy dealing with election
this
cases.
Is like the Christmas period.
So if you have
there's no other matter. No other matter going on in court.
If you have land dispute case now,
if
you have business issues, if you have family issues, those issues now are suffering because why? The judges have to adjudicate on election case. And do not forget that these justices, with profound respect to them, are not an isolation of the society. So if the police is allegedly corrupt, if the military is allegedly corrupt, if the government parastatals are allegedly corrupt, don't expect a corrupt-free
judiciary.
No. So what we should begin to start is an election whereby it will end at the ballot, and there will be consequence for any infraction. I want to see that if, for example, if the judiciary in their wisdom believe Tinubu did not win the election, it should not stop at pronouncement, please. The INEC chairman and those involved in any electoral infraction should serve their time in jail.
That's the truth.
Because the judiciary itself is making a mistake in the sense that there's no deterrent. Politicians will go to court. When they nullify the election, that is the end of it. The election, those that are involved, that produce that faulty process, what happens to them? They work freely. And you will now pick a man that, have a fight with another person, send that person to jail, ask for 2 shorty, whereby people have truncated the will of the, and this has impact on development. That's why Nigeria is the way to, because it is easy for any ragtag, charlatan, street urchin to become a president or to become, a governor, because you don't even need certificate. Just show evidence that you attend school. So if you can defend me now that, we were in class together, that means I'm qualified. But if you want to employ people, you ask for years of experience, ICANN certificate, BSc, MSc, PhD, years of experience.
But who's to adjust the rule to laws? Who's supposed to adjust these laws to ensure that we're putting the right people there? That's the problem, because we have our lawmakers, and our lawmakers will never adjust our constitution to ensure that we expect this certain level of qualification from whoever is contesting for XYZ position. So who do we blame? Because the president did not make those rules.
The lawmakers will amend if citizens push the right way. Look at the not too young to run, for example.
Mr. Diji, we don't have time again. We don't have time again because a lot of people are wondering. Perhaps in this inaugural speech, as I would like to say, people are probably expecting, or were expecting, that because of the immense pain Nigerians are going through now, trying to access fuel and to access mobility, and trying to also deal with the high cost of living right now, that his first statement brought us into. People were expecting to say, okay, you know what, on my part, in fact, when I was listening, when I heard that, on my part, I thought, okay, maybe you cut down the size of your government. Maybe on my part, would try to cut the cost of governance. On my part, we'll do XYZ. Why? Because, okay, to show you that as you are going through this pain, let's also do what we can as leaders to also show you that we share in your pain by also cutting down on the things that we enjoy as people in governance. But I didn't hear that.
No, he will not.
People were expecting that at least to show that you feel the pain of Nigerians. You could do something like that.
The president actually appreciated Nigerians for at least having patience, and he said it's
but you would have also
he called it making sacrifice that will be beneficial to all.
You don't understand. The same thing we're talking about. You would have made that sacrifice translate to we run one of the most expensive governance in the world. We would have made that sacrifice by also showing that we can do this.
We have been hearing that
statement. Mr. Darling, see your final thought in 30 seconds. We don't have time anymore.
You see, that statement will never come. He will not control anybody. Just last week Tuesday in the Vanguard newspaper, it was reported that Tinubu saw the convoy of his son and was shouting at him, "Do you want to destroy my government?" When he saw the convoy of his son, and the man was reprimanding his son, "Do you want to destroy my government?" Vanguard Tuesday last week. So he just saw that. How about other people that he may not see? Buhari got 15/8. Tinubu have gotten 28. And I'm sure it is still counting.
Special advisor.
20. And I'm sure it is still counting. I even thought that Precious, your name is there. I don't know whether it is true.
Please, Adeji, your final thoughts, please. Your final thought. In less than 30 seconds, if you can.
The thing is, I wish the president well, because constitutionally, whether anybody likes it or not, is the president, at least for now.
Absolutely.
So, and if he succeeds, Nigeria succeeds. So I wish him well. But I want him to remember that every day of being in power is history in the making. And people will always remember you for what you've done or failed to do.
All right. Thank you so much. So Dr. Deji Omoshola is a political scientist, and you see the way he's quite very informed when it's got to do with politics. We appreciate you, Dr. Deji, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Barrister Darlington, let me call him in his full regalia. Barrister Darlington Agomo, of course, is a barrister of the law, and he's my 5 and 6. Today we did not quarrel because Dr. Deji was in the middle. He was there to do referee between him and I. We did not quarrel.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I will catch you.
He was mediating. So this show is being produced by Promise. Remember that we come your way. Yeah. Remember we come your way every day, Monday to Friday. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We're here 6:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. every day. But from on Wednesdays, we come here by 7 p.m. Right? Thank you so much for joining us. Promise your final thoughts on your social media.
Lagos, I'm Zinifab, ZINNEFAB on Instagram.
All right. My name is Precious Enyi. I'm here. You guys always crucify me every day. Do well to join us again tomorrow evening, 6:30 p.m. On social media, Instagram, I'm at Precious Enyi Official. Enyi spelled ENYI. By the way, it means friend. So I'm that friendly. Love to be your friend to the end.
Is it pretty precious?
All right. So on Twitter, I'm at Precious_ENYI. See you guys tomorrow, Lagos.